Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Mosai, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rekah Kodash. The honors to the apostles and elders, bishops and elders of great millstone who are well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. In the sense of salutation to all the Ark and pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the outwalk who are listening and learning. And if you sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Solano Camp coming at you with another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord, wouldn't be edifying. So I tell you this lesson, the Lord has them investing for World War III. The Lord has them investing in WW3. Lord, wouldn't be edifying. And this is a video from Redacted. So I want to play this because they mentioned about the budget of the military budget. So check this out. I'm gonna get a few precepts.
Let's talk about this story. So this is crazy.
So like it, let me turn this volume down. Hey, this is what's going on, man. The Lord told him, man, beat their plowshares and the swords and the pruning hooks and the spears, man. Forget about producing food for your countries. Hey, take your money and invest it into your military, in your military budget. That's what this is about, man. This is about the Lord gathering these nations, getting their military power together so they can destroy each other, man. So the Heavenly Father Yahweh can send his son back to destroy these devils, man. But first he got them building up their military weaponry, their arsenal. So let's play this again.
Let's talk about this story. So this is crazy. So we are about to hit a $1 trillion defense budget. Now, you might say, well, no, we're nearing 900 billion. No, we're a hop skip from that. And you may even argue, as we've done on this show before, that the number that we have where it's about 800 billion is already about 100 and so billion beyond that anyway.
Yes.
So,
well, you've done pieces here on the show where you have picked apart sort of the daily military contracts that are handed out in pursuit of things that are connected to our existing military budget. So
right.
The United States government, hands them out like Skittles, these government contracts for military missions.
They just add on.
Those don't necessarily get, put into the streamlined budget.
So Americans are facing right now, let's just run down the list as Santa goes by in the background. Americans are facing a huge spike in layoffs right now. Fuel shortages. So we just got the numbers today on job losses, and it's bad. And we've been predicting this for a while, but now we saw the numbers today, and it's a huge spike, in the biggest spike in 10 months of job losses across the United States, at a time when you're getting all these seasonal employment. You're getting all these seasonal workers that are coming in, fuel shortages, people who are, freezing in their homes right now because they can't turn up the thermostat because they can't afford to do it. As we've said on the show before, more people die of cold than do heat waves, right? Overwhelmingly, and skyrocketing energy costs all around. Is Congress doing anything to stop it? No, they're not. Nope. Instead, they are about to approve a massive increase to our war budget, pushing us closer and closer to $1 trillion. And if you need any more examples, just how corrupt all this.
Now you see, he just said how peoples are losing jobs, right? People's dying because of the cold or whatever. Hey, the Lord said it first, man. That's what we always talk about, how the Lord being simple. He had to give us the details of how the earthquakes are going to happen. The Lord just said it's going to be earthquakes in diverse places. So we seeing through the actions, through the tokens of the so-called white man, why there are earthquakes. The Lord didn't have to tell us, oh, well, they're going to pour the oil out the earth. Therefore, it's going to cause earthquakes. The Lord didn't have to say that. Okay, the Lord just told us it's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, right? Just watch the sign, watch the tokens. As Second Thessalonians, it say they shall be revealed in their time, man, because you're going to know them by their tokens. Okay, so here it is. You got these guys that's telling you, hey, the Lord said it in Psalm 64, man, and 8. They should make their own tongue fall upon themselves. So now you got a lot of jobs being lost, right? But they increasing their military bill. Let's listen some more.
This is from Politico. This is their headline. House Senate negotiators agree to add $45 billion to Biden's defense budget. So just let's unpack that a second, okay? The House and Senate have agreed to increase the 2023 Defense Authorization Act by another $45 billion beyond what the Biden administration just requested.
Why not?
Like, we're going to just sweeten it for you. We're just going to throw in an additional $45 billion on top of this.
This happened last year. I think it was in the 30s.
Yeah, it was.
But
they do
this
it all the
year,
time now.
like, why not a little more? You under asked. I love when that happens. Bank error in your favor.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the $45 billion increase was agreed on by the House and Senate Armed Services Committee, but other details of the NDAA are still being finalized. The increase would have the two panels agree on, would bring the total budget to $847 billion. $847 billion. Just wrap your head around that. More than all of the major militaries of the
Lord told them to do it, man. This is about World War III, man. Okay? End time prophecy, man. As the scriptures say, as the Holy Bible say, man. End time prophecy. Jacob's trouble, the MOTB being made mandatory, and World War III, man.
The world. I mean, Russia's annual military budget is in like the 70s or 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Think about China's military budget,
which is larger than ours by personnel.
Yeah. So they have more personnel in their military than we do. And yet we pay about 6 or 7 times the amount of China. And all of the industrialized world.
Not to people, though. Not to soldiers.
Oh, no. We don't pay it to soldiers.
We invest in it, but this doesn't necessarily go into soldiers.
So as they saying, China has more personnel than Babylon the Great's military. But Babylon the Great military, they spend more money than any other military, man. Why? Hey, because the Lord got this place, got to build up their arsenal, man. Okay, as which I'm going to read in Joel 2, the Lord said He's going to remove the northern army, man, and drive them into a land barren and desolate. So here it is, Babylon the Great spending more money than any other military, man. Why?
This budget usually does, since we haven't seen the final line items yet, but these budgets usually do include pay raises for the military. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, because as inflation just sort of rolls out of control, and a lot of times when the military move overseas, they have spouses who can't work in those places. So it's a tough deal for them.
So
now let me jump up real quick to right here.
First, take a look at this, Philip. I don't know if you have my laptop here. Yeah. So this was the Deal Book Summit. This is New York Times. So the New York Times yesterday, about a month ago, we heard that they were going to have a panel, this Deal Book Summit, hosted by Andrew Ross Sorkin. He was there. Vladimir Zelensky was going to be in attendance. Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX fame, Janet Yellen. I mean, it's like a who's who of criminals, basically, like on stage at this Deal Book Summit. Hey, who can we get at the New York Times to bring in, right? So Zelensky, we'll get him to bring in. And so the New York Times does this interview with him yesterday about, and asks him specifically about the budget, the United States military budget. And, we've spent over $105 billion in Ukraine. How do you justify that amount of money? Don't you think, is that a little too much? How do you justify that? Watch Andrew Ross Sorkin and Volodymyr Zelensky on that question.
The administration submitted a new aid request of $37.7 billion, which, if passed, would bring the total amount that the U.S. Has provided in assistance to $105.5 billion. We're going to be speaking with former Vice President Mike Pence a little bit later, and there has been a sentiment among Republicans who now control the House in the United States from Kevin McCarthy, who said there should not be a blank check. What do you tell them?
Now, before we go any further, so they gave $105 billion total to Ukraine. North America, Babylon the Great, has spent $847 billion on their military defense, man. $847 billion. The Lord got them getting their arsenal together, man. Because this is about World War III, man.
We are absolutely open, and we are thankful for the assistance. It's not quite correct to speak about 100 billion as a value of the war for the United States. The value is lives of people. If Ukraine does not stand through this war, the war will spread into other territories and maybe even to other continents. For our people is the...
already said the war will spread to other continents, man. Everybody's going to get involved. Everybody's going to get involved in this war.
Biggest value. Tell me how much our people cost. I don't know.
Okay. How much our people cost? Well, what is that? I'm sorry, explain. How much do our people cost? How much do the people in the West cost? How much do the people in the EU cost? How much do the people in the United States cost? You spent $847 billion and then another $100 billion to kill all of those people in Ukraine. Never mind the fact these people are being killed. This isn't like we're helping them in any appreciable way. They are being decimated.
Yes. I mean, if this was a budgetary number saying this is the price of peace, then we could all say, okay, spend it. We'll make it up later.
Yeah,
this is not the price of peace. This is the price to continue killing.
So we're using their
an opportunity to sit at a peace table today, yesterday, and tomorrow. That opportunity stands to say no more killing. This stops now. They won't take it. And so, it's interesting that this figure comes out at the same time this week that Politico published a story about EU officials accusing the United States of profiteering from war. And so then when you look at this budget of $847 billion, you can sort of start to see how government officials feel like that is an investment because there's money to be made there. It's not a sunk cost. It's not like we do it because we value freedom and protection and that kind of thing. They see it as an investment, not only to boost the United States PR around the world, but also absolutely for profiteering.
Now, we know that those that's behind the scene, they fund from both sides. They fund both sides of the war, man. These guys, right? The ones that set the standards, that make the laws, they fund both sides of the war. We know this.
So, you think
now,
about
what did they? So did they happen to mention what because you said we have almost $1 trillion war budget. What was our peace budget? I don't remember if you said that or not.
No, and I refuse. Here's the thing. I refuse to call it our defense budget. They call it a defense budget. It's not a defense budget.
Well, did you know that the Department of Defense was originally called in Washington days, the Department of War?
Yeah.
It's just
it's just a name.
It was just a name change.
Of course.
It remains the Department of War.
Right. Yeah. So they changed it
because
now,
no one's
what about
coming
Department
here.
Of Peace? Do you know someone brought up the idea of a Department of Peace? I don't remember which member who was running for president, and they were laughed at. They were laughed at and mocked for saying we should have a Department of Peace instead of a Department of Defense.
Yeah.
And they were mocked openly. Unbelievable. So, Americans are suffering right now. They can't pay their heating bills, the same across Europe, but we're going to send money to make sure that they have heat and that their infrastructure, by the way, we still have never passed an infrastructure bill in the United States. Whatever happened to Build Back Better? Instead, we passed an Inflation Reduction Act, which was just a big wet kiss for, renewables companies. So did we do anything on infrastructure? Did we help anybody? No, we didn't. But we are, listen to Anthony Blinken, sending millions now to Ukraine to help them with their heating and electrical infrastructure. Watch.
I announced that the United States will commit over $53 million to send equipment to help stabilize Ukraine's energy grid and keep Ukraine's power and electricity running. We've also submitted a request to Congress for $1.1 billion to secure Ukraine and Moldova's energy sector and restore their energy supply.
Right. Yeah. Great. So we're going to take care of them. So one big piece of all of this is the military and their vaccine mandates. So this is an interesting sort of wrench in the works right now from Republicans. Well, Ted Cruz, who likes to be an opportunist whenever he can. So he now really cares. Suddenly, they really, really care about the vaccine mandates for our men and women in the armed forces.
So here these devils is spending all this money. The Lord got them investing in the war, man. So let me read this. This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 20. And it reads, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, which is the Persian Gulf." And so let's read this again. "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, which is the Persian Gulf, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, which is the Red Sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things." So in Joel 3, so the Lord is saying he's going to remove, which there is, for the most part, North America's army is already scattered. This is Joel 3 and 9. "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Be your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." So the other nations is getting their arsenal together. Okay? Well, Babylon the Great got to do the same, man. "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh." And the angels is intervening in all this, man. Okay, the angels that plays into the minds of these different kings. "Let the heathen be awakened, let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." So the Lord got Babylon the Great spending, as he just said, right now is at the point of 847 billion into that military budget. Okay, almost $1 trillion in military, and they just spent, and they say they spent more than any other nation, any other country. Well, they're gonna have to, man. But Babylon the Great gonna be destroyed, man. The prophets say all these other nations is gonna turn against Babylon. When you go to Revelations 20, it reads this. It's Revelation 20 and 7, dealing with the so-called white man when they came out of the caves in the 1300s. Okay, Renaissance, which means rebirth. of them coming back into power, right? The Revelation 20 and 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And how did he see the nations? With his iconoclasm, his Renaissance art, okay, whitewashing. Renaissance mean rebirth of them coming back on the earth, and they deceive the nations with their Renaissance art, which is iconoclasm. It reads again, Revelation 20 and 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is at the sand of the sea. So they got these nations gathering. Well, Yahweh Shema Shai got the spirit on these devils to destroy the earth. And that's why I tell you in Jeremiah 51, all the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, man. Okay? And as it says in Ezekiel 38, that Babylon is going to be a guard to these nations. So here it is in Revelations 20. This devil done went out in the sea of the earth. So now everybody looking for a guard, which the Lord set up Gog and Magog to be a guard to these nations, and used the Babylonian Edomites to stir up all the other nations, man. This is what is it? Revelation. Let me get this. This is Revelation 16 and 16, reading the point here. It reads, let's read Revelation 16 and 13. Because in Jeremiah what is that, 50 and 45, it talks about, let's read it. Let's read it real quick. So in Jeremiah 50 and 45, it reads, therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. We know the least of the flock is them that control everything, man. Okay? These small hats. Okay, the 1948ers, right? So in Revelation 16 and 13, it reads, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. These three unclean spirits is, you got EU, which is monetary, you got NATO, which is military, and you got Washington, you got North America, Babylon the Great, is basically like religion, right? You got Washington, which is, they all join the heart that sits on the scarlet colored beast. You have military, monetary, and you got the religion. So again, it say, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, which is the Vatican, right? And you got Washington, military, EU monetary. That's how it goes. Washington is the military, okay, which is through NATO. You got EU as the monetary, and you got Vatican, which is the religion. It say verse 14, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to battle of that great day of power almighty. So the job of these devils is to stir up wrath in the earth, which through the Lord, through the angels. That's why I said in Jeremiah 51 that all the nations are angry, man. So it say, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to battle of that great day of power almighty. In verse 16, And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, right? So as it said in Revelations 20, this is through Babylon the Great, man. Okay? Let's get Jeremiah 51. So the Lord got them investing. Hey, forget about the people, forget about the food, invest your money in military power, man, in your arsenal. It's Jeremiah 51 in verse 7. It reads, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. All the nations is angry, man. But this is war, man. This is for World War III. So this is Revelation chapter 9 and 12. It reads, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. This is about war, man. And the Lord is what was that Exodus 15 and 3? The Lord is a man of war. And as it say in Isaiah 42, matter of fact, let's read that first. Isaiah 42 and 13, it reads, the Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yell, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. So this is the Lord stirring up jealousy, man. Okay? He's stirring up jealousy in these nations, man, because they are not on the same page. They have always been separated. Is Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. That's how they fought in ancient times. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Through what? Through those intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Okay? World War III, man. The second war is past, and behold, the third war coming quickly. That's where we at, man. So Lord got them investing their money into the military, as they should, man. And as he said, Babylon spending more money in their military than any other country, man. And they're gonna be annihilated, man. Babylon the Great is gonna be annihilated, man. As it say again in Joel 2 and 20, it reads, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, the Persian Gulf, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, the Red Sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Is Isaiah 34. Same thing it reads. Isaiah 34 and 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain shall be cast out, and their stink, you see, shall come up out of their carcasses. Say the same thing in Joel 2. And the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Okay? Now, when you read in Second Ezra, Second Ezra 13, I think it is, it said the same thing. It say about the stink shall come up, right? This Second Ezra 13 and verse, let's read here. Second Ezra 13, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. It reads, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was a gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain, a chariot, and flew upon it, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region of place whereon the hill was graven, and I could not. After this, I beheld and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of innumerable multitude, nothing could be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Okay? But only dust and smells of smoke, man. And that smoke, like it said in Isaiah 34, that's that stink, man. That's that stink, man. That's going to come up out of their carcasses again. Isaiah 34 and 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, man. Okay? So, this is where we at, man. We waiting on Jacob's trouble, MOTB to be made mandatory, man. World War III. Okay? Or let's say that again. The MOTB being made mandatory, Jacob trouble in World War III, man. So this ain't no, hey, the Lord say marvel not, because this is prophecy playing out, man. So yeah, I saw this at the plantation. I just want to make some points on this. So Lord was edifying. He'll give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rekah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the bishop and elders of great millstone who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready to accept it or not. In a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing the truth and believing the truth at the four winds of the earth, then tell you world, waking up the whole elect. And shalom to the Wath who are listening, learning, you few sisters who are listening, learning. Lord was edifying. The next time I say shalom, wa abba. I want to play this again from the beginning, just the first few minutes.
Okay, so this is crazy. So we are about to hit a $1 trillion defense budget. Now, you might say, well, no, we're nearing 900 billion. No, we're a hop skip from that. And you may even argue, as we've done on this show before, that the number that we have where it's about 800 billion is already about 100 and so billion beyond that anyway.
Yeah.
So,
well, you've done pieces here on the show where you have picked apart sort of the daily military contracts that are handed out in pursuit of things that are connected to our existing military budget. So
right.
The United States government, hands them out like Skittles, these government contracts for military missions.
Yeah, they just add on.
Those don't necessarily get, put into the streamlined budget.
So Americans are facing right now, let's just run down the list as Santa goes by in the background. Americans are facing a huge spike in layoffs right now. Fuel shortages. So we just got the numbers today on job losses, and it's bad. And we've been predicting this for a while, but now we saw the numbers today, and it's a huge spike, the biggest spike in 10 months of job losses across the United States, at a time when you're getting all these seasonal employment. You're getting all these seasonal workers that are coming in, fuel shortages, people who are, freezing in their homes right now because they can't turn up the thermostat because they can't afford to do it. As we've said on the show before, more people die of cold than do heat waves, right?
So here it is that people is losing jobs, man. Okay? And these people do their research, man. They do their research. You heard what he said. The people is losing jobs, man, and it's bad. But yet, they investing in their military. Why? Because the Lord don't care, man. The Lord don't care about none of that, man. That's why the apostles, elder bishops, and elder keep telling you people, man. If you ain't seeking your help about Shema Shah right now, the Lord ain't gonna care about you, man. The Lord will not care about you 2/3 out there, man. You're not seeking Yahweh while Yahweh shall right now, man. While the evil days come not, as it said in Ecclesiastes 12:1. The Lord don't care about you, man. He ain't gonna care about you, man. This is the Lord's agenda, man. Okay? This is the Lord's agenda, man. This is a chessboard, man, that we own. Okay? And there's rookies, pawns, bishops, knights, kings, and princesses, man. They say queens, but ain't no queens in Israel. It's princesses. Hey, the Lord don't care, man. This is about, let me read this. Let me read this. In Jeremiah 51, no, Jeremiah 50, it's Jeremiah 50 and 25, it reads, Yahweh hath opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, man. The Lord don't, this is the Lord's agenda, man. Okay? And he's doing it for his name's sake, first and foremost. The scriptures say. He's doing it, he said he would not give his glory to another. And then he's doing it for the elect of Israel. Why? Because these heathens put their hands on us, man. They touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man. He said it. Do my prophets no harm, man. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. And all these nations did the total opposite of that, man. So if you ain't seeking your Yahweh Shema Shai now, the Lord ain't gonna care about you later, man. So everybody that's losing jobs, that's hungry, the Lord don't care, man. He don't care. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai do not care, man. Okay? This is war. Shalom.